So we're never going to have commercials on this show. And we are never going to make any money off of this show.
What?
No.
Oh.
Because that's not the point.
Oh.
This isn't our content, and we are just here to spread the joy and love of Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
But if we can work with this little family that we've created to help other people, then I think that's great. So I've set up a fundraiser for Freedom Writers Foundation. We're going to do this for Tony Danza's birthday. His birthday is on April 21st.
Okay.
The organization is a nonprofit organization that works to provide educators with the tools they need to empower all students to succeed. They work to reduce student dropout rates and to get more kids on a path to college. So if you would like to participate, go to our Instagram, which is the Who's the Boss podcast on Instagram. On the main page under the bio, you'll see fundraising for Freedom Writers. You can click on that and donate there.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. Tony Danza is going to be 70 years old.
Wow,
Yes.
70.
Happy
Big 70.
birthday.
Good for
Yeah.
Tony Danza.
If I only had it to do over again, I would sow a wild oat or two.
Angela, you wouldn't know a wild oat if it hit you in the feed bag.
Oh, no, I can be just as wild and crazy as the next guy.
Yeah, the next guy's Mother Teresa.
Okay, laugh if you will. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all the things that I didn't do when I was growing up. I'm going to be wild and crazy and daring. I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants. I'm going to be free and spontaneous.
What are you doing?
Making a list of all the spontaneous things I'm going to do.
Hi. Welcome back to
Ayo. OA.
the Who's the Boss podcast. As soon as I said, yeah, I'm ready, you said yes, and then you took a sip.
I know, but I felt like
Of your drink.
I needed it. A drink. I needed a sip.
I'm Tori,
I'm Kevin.
and we are here to rewatch and discuss every single episode of Who's the Boss.
Yeah, moving right along.
Yes, we are. We are on episode 21. We have 3 more after this one.
Yeah. And then it's
And then
on to season 4.
to season 4. Yeah. And then once we get
boy.
to halfway through season 4,
Then what? We're
then
halfway through the whole thing.
done, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, give or take an episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if every season was the right, like 24, was it?
I don't know. No, like this one's 26, I think. No,
Oh,
can't be.
so-
Wait. 21, 22, 23, 24. No, you're right.
I'm just guessing
Some
the
of
average.
them may have been longer than others.
I bet you near the end they were shorter.
That's a good question. I don't really know.
I don't either.
I'd have to look.
You think we would?
Okay, so we don't have any news. I do want to say, though, that we have set up a birthday fundraiser for Tony Danza's birthday. He will be 70 years old on April 21st. So, I mean, listen, we're never gonna have commercials on this show. We're never gonna make any money off of this show.
What?
We have. That's not
Well,
the
what
point.
am I doing?
This isn't our content to make money off of, and it's not the point.
True.
We are just doing this because we wanted to have fun. But I figure if collectively, the little family of listeners that we have created, if we can all kind of work together and help some other people, that's always good. So we did it for
Yeah, that's
Judith's
true.
birthday. I got my shit together way earlier this time for Tony's birthday. So I put together a fundraiser. It is on Instagram. If you go to our Instagram page, the Who's the Boss podcast, right there on the front in the bio, it'll say fundraising for Freedom Writer, which is a foundation that he's worked with before. And so then you can leave a donation there. And I'll keep sharing the post around. You can put a little birthday message in there if you would like as well. So yeah, let's see. I think our goal is 500. So let's
All
see if
right.
we can do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was way off there. Actually, the seasons 5, 6, 7, and 8 either have 24 to 27 episodes.
27?
26 or 27, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, none of them fall short. All of them are minimum 24, and then some are like 26, 27.
Wow.
So
If you guys are
they didn't skimp.
No. You
We're
guys
gonna
are-
be here a
I hope you
while.
don't- Yes, I hope you guys aren't sick of us yet, because looks like we're going to be a while. All right, tonight we are going to cover season 3, episode 21. It is called Walk on the Mild Side. It first aired on March 17th. Isn't that St. Patrick's Day? Yeah, it would have been a Tuesday. March 17th, 1987. And the summary says, Angela sets out to do all the wild, spontaneous things she's always wanted to do, including going to Inspiration Point with the coolest dude in her high school class.
That description.
Oh, Angela. Okay, this episode was written by John Donnelly and Clay Graham. So I looked them up.
Yes.
And let me see here. So I believe this is each of their first episodes, but they will do quite a few.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Let me make sure. John Donnelly. Now, the interesting thing is, like, I've noticed it seems standard for there to be like a writing team.
Right.
Because these guys both did. It seems like John Donnelly was a writer before Clay. And then they started working together on different strokes because Clay is listed as a writer for The Lie, and so is John Donnelly. Then it looks like they worked together on different strokes, The Red Fox Show, Benson, and Who's the Boss.
Okay.
And this was both their first episode of Who's the Boss, but then John Donnelly stops writing for Who's the Boss, but Clay Graham continues on.
He's like, I'm out.
I know what happened.
Maybe got canned.
And then Clay Graham has gone on to write... He wrote up to Santa Clarita Diet from 2020. 2017 to 2019. Wasn't that the Drew Barrymore show? Was she on that?
Yes. Yeah, it was Drew Barrymore, and I can't think of the guy's name. It was on Netflix.
Either can I. It was. Netflix. I think it was on Netflix.
It was, because I remember seeing the billboard on their building.
Oh, wait a minute. We know this guy. It's Timothy Oliphant.
Yes.
Yes.
That's who it is. Timothy Oliphant. Timothy
Oliphant.
That's his name. I could not remember his name.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But now she's doing her talk show. So
Drew.
They're not doing that anymore.
I don't even know if that's still...
No, it is. They just got renewed for a second season.
Did they? Okay. I mean,
Yes.
I wasn't knocking it. I just didn't know if those talk shows come and go.
Yeah. I actually have not
that's
seen
good if
one
she's got a
episode
second
of it.
season.
But I saw a clip where she had her bearded dragon on.
Oh, boy.
She also has a bearded dragon.
Oh, well.
And who's the girl? Oh, my goodness. Okay.
What?
Remember the reality show with Paris Hilton and the other girl? What's the other girl's name? She's Lionel
Nicole
Richie's
Richie?
daughter. Okay, thank you. It was a video call between Drew Barrymore and Nicole Richie, and they were both talking about their bearded dragons because they both have them. Or at least their kids have them.
I guess we're cool.
I'm right?
We have a cool pet.
Yeah. I saw Nicole Richie one time at one of our dance competitions. Her daughter. I'm sorry. It was a dance. What do we call those things?
Recital?
No, it was when they went for that weekend.
Recital?
No. We go to the hotel.
Yeah.
So it is
NRG.
NRG was when we went
NRG.
to. So I guess it is a competition, but we don't compete. But the kids just go to workshops all weekend long. And yeah, so her daughters must dance because I saw them there.
And we saw Paris Hilton once.
I did, yeah.
We saw her at Malibu, the Malibu...
Yeah, the Malibu Country Mart.
Malibu Country Mart.
And some woman handed her baby and asked to take a picture with her holding her baby.
I don't understand people at all.
And she was very sweet, and she held this woman's baby and took a picture with it.
But it just makes you wonder, people. Just walk up. Hey, can you hold my baby? I'm going to take a picture of you. And then it's one of those embarrassing things where you're like, here's so-and-so holding my baby. He's Paris Hilton holding you as a baby.
That's true. God, and that kid probably has to be like 13 now, because I don't think we had kids yet. So
No, It wasn't that long ago.
Oh, really?
No, we didn't start going there before we had kids.
You're right.
We started going there for that burrito place that David Duchovny liked.
Yeah, and then it closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, we've
we're
gone
way
way off topic. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So when this episode opens, Samantha's running in the house. She has very important news, and she can't wait to tell everyone. So Tony comes running from downstairs. Mona comes running out of the kitchen, and Angela comes running out of her office.
What was Tony doing up there?
We still have not seen. I don't know. Folding laundry?
I guess.
Dusting, making the bed?
pretty fast, though.
Oh. Well, because really Tony Danza was just standing at the top of those steps because there's nothing up there. So they are all like, what? And she says, the Beastie Boys are coming to town, are
Oh,
coming
boy.
here.
They're coming here.
Right. And Tony's like, oh, and the house is such a mess.
Meanwhile, it's not.
I know, it's immaculate.
It's spotless.
Right. So the Beastie Boys are coming to play a concert next month. And Angela's like, that's what you are so excited about? And Mona says, well, you have to think of it on your terms. Would be like if Vic Damone was coming to play. And Angela still doesn't care. She's like, I have work to do. You got me out of my office. I'm standing here now, and this really wasn't important. So Sam's like, well, I have to, the tickets are going to go on sale, and I need to get there. They're going to go on sale tomorrow morning. I need to get there kind of early. Tony says, how early? And she says, right now.
Yeah. Overnight.
Yeah. So I remember a time where you had to go buy tickets, like at a physical place.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time. I remember that too.
Or you could call, right? Wasn't that the other thing? Like you could
Yes,
start
you can
calling
call or go wait in line, and there was like enough.
But it seemed like
tickets.
waiting in line got you better tickets than if you called.
Yeah, I guess so.
What
I
was
think
your
so.
first concert?
Kiss.
My first concert was Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so excited. Okay.
I was too. I was blown away by that It was crazy. I was blown away.
Well, yeah. I mean, that sounds like a much cooler concert to have as your first concert.
I know, but you probably love.
No, I did love Debbie Gibson.
Yeah,
And I would have had
liked
no
Kiss.
idea who Kiss was.
I wasn't even that big of a Kiss fan, but I got to go, and I was like, wow, that was pretty incredible.
How did you go? Was your brother going or something?
Yeah, my brother and friends, and I got to tag along with them and go, and I was just like, wow.
So now, I think the only thing I could compare this to is when I got Adele tickets the last time she came here, which was when I turned 40. So that was almost 5 years ago. And I had to get in the online waiting room.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was very stressful. I had 5 windows open
I know.
because there were different nights of the week that she was playing. And I didn't care which night we got. We just wanted to get one night. And my friends and I were and I'm at work. And my friends and I were on the phone on a conference call. And I got the tickets. It took 2 hours. But
Wow.
finally I got
it
let
took that
into the
long.
waiting room. And then I was able to buy them. So my 10-year-old daughter, when she's an adult, will be able to say that her very first concert was Adele.
I know, and that's actually pretty cool.
That is a pretty cool one. I think that's going to stick.
I think so too.
Yeah, no one's going to... I don't think you're going to get the same effect when you say Adele as when I say Debbie Gibson. Although Debbie Gibson is a very talented person. She went on to do Broadway.
Yeah,
So
there's nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
not saying... She was just very poppy at the time.
Electric Youth.
Yes. I had the perfume and everything. I loved it.
Oh my God. I didn't know she
yeah.
had perfume till right now.
Oh, yeah. I think it was called Electric Youth.
Oh, I believe that.
So Tony's like, no way are you going to the mall all night long and standing in line for concert tickets. And yeah, I don't think my parents would have let me do this.
No, I wouldn't have been
at
allowed
all.
either. And I was probably worse than you.
And Tony says, it's crazy. And Mona's like, you're right. It absolutely is crazy. And I think you should let her go. And he's like, what? And she's like, well, teenagers need to do stuff like this, and she'll be fine. Samantha says it's a safe place. It's well lit. There are going to be other people there all night long. So Tony decides, all right.
Well, and the falafel place is
Yes.
open all night.
The falafel place is open all night.
You
And
have to mention that because there's a reason
that's
later.
true. It's going to come back. And Macy's is not going to be open. So Tony doesn't have to worry about her running up his charge card all night long. So Tony's like, okay, that's fine. You can go. So she's excited. She's getting ready to leave. Now, Angela's like, wow, I'm pretty proud of you for letting her do that. And he's like, well, it's way tamer than half of the stuff that I did as a kid. And Angela's curious. She's like, what are some of the things that you did as a kid? So he tells this story about how one time he was delivering pizza and he got on a train at Grand Central Station. He sees a pretty girl, sits down, starts talking to her. And did you know pepperoni is a hell of an icebreaker?
What?
How is pepperoni an icebreaker?
I don't know.
What are the things about pepperoni that you can talk about?
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
It's Tony. So he says they're in love by Cleveland, and if he didn't get thrown off the train in Chicago, they would have 2 kids by now, be married with 2 kids. So
How does he
Angela,
know that?
What?
How does he know that? I'm just kidding.
And Angela's like, oh, that's so romantic how Angela gets. But then he tells the story about how on the way back,
Yeah.
since he didn't get married and have 2 kids, instead he was hitchhiking and he got in
there
a
we go.
semi-truck with a lady truck driver. And there was nothing semi about her.
Boom.
Now, I was kind of confused about that because I feel like the idea of a lady truck driver is not something where you automatically think that person's hot. Like, I picture the woman in the Pee Wee Herman movie.
Yeah, tell him large Marge sent you.
Right. So I was a little confused by that joke there, but I guess she
Well, there was nothing
hot.
semi about her.
No,
Semi
yeah, she
about
wasn't
her.
semi-hot. She
wasn't
was all the way
semi-hot.
hot.
Her boobs weren't semi-small. You know, Tony, it's all...
And she probably didn't go halfway.
Apparently,
She went all the way.
A model was driving this semi.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Christy Brinkley pulling
Yeah.
up next to
Right, Chevy Chase on vacation.
So then Mona chimes in with all of the crazy things that she's done. And she just starts laughing. And they're looking at her, waiting for her to tell the story. And
Nothing.
no, she can't tell them that because she promised the senator. Half the time I think Mona's making this shit up.
Just saying things.
Yeah. Like, I think my theory is like Mona doesn't know who the Beastie Boys are, but she just pretended she did.
Yeah, so
and
she can make Angela feel bad.
Right. And when Samantha's friends were all talking about the cool boys and the cute boys, she just acted like she knew what it was. And she has so much street cred that everybody believes her.
That's true. It's a good point.
So now
Fake
she's...
it till you make it.
Right, exactly. So now she says, but I can tell you about the time that I snuck into the drive-in movie theater in the trunk of a car. And Tony's like, oh, yeah, I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. And she says this was last week.
I know. That was actually pretty funny.
That was funny. But, like, I mean, where's that episode? How did that even come about? We want to know more about that.
And why is she doing that?
Right. She has plenty of money to go to a movie.
Well, not only that, or she can get a date, obviously, that could take her there without having to sneak her into the trunk. I mean, it's not like she's silly.
It's just so Mona. So then Tony says, didn't you ever come on, Angela, don't you have any wild stories from when you were young? And she's trying to think. And Mona's like, don't even bother. You got nothing. So then Tony asks her, didn't you ever call up the grocery store and ask if they had olive oil in a bottle? And she's like, why? Why should I do that? And he says, because then right after you say that, then you say you better let her out because Popeye's getting mad.
Oh my gosh.
No one would get this joke these days. I mean,
no.
No one younger than our age group would get this joke these days.
No. But I remember making those kind of calls. Oh, we didn't say that one, but there are other ones.
Yeah, the refrigerator running.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't do a lot of prank calls, maybe just like a few times, but I don't remember any of the stuff we said. It was probably terrible, and people probably knew who we were. And like
so bad.
You can't really do that anymore because everybody has cell phones now.
You haven't been able to do it for years,
right? Because of the star 69.
Well, I'm not call waiting. Yeah, you're right. Not even
was it star 69?
Not even caller ID, but star 69 was before even caller ID. Caller ID was super advanced when it would just tell you the number. Like star 69 would tell you a number, but then call it back. But you had to hit star 69 and it would tell you.
Right.
And then there was a way to block it. A lot of phone games. You could block star 69.
It's a lost art.
It is. Now it's
can't do
nothing.
That. So now Angela's saying, all these things I missed out when I was young. Like if I had it to do all over again, I would sow a wild oat or two. And Mona says, you wouldn't know a wild oat if it hit you in the feedback. Poor Angela.
I know.
So she's
and they're
like,
just making fun.
I know. She says, I could be wild and crazy, just as wild and crazy as the next guy. And then Tony says, as long as the next guy was Mother Teresa.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But she decides she's going to do it. She's going to go crazy. She's going to have fun. She's going to fly by the seat of her pants. She's going to be free and spontaneous. And then she sits down at that little writing desk by the stairs. And it gets quiet, and Tony says, what are you doing? And she says, I'm writing all of the spontaneous things down that I'm going to do. Which is very Angela.
It is. Make a list of being spontaneous.
So now the next morning, Tony, or I guess it's the next afternoon, Tony and Angela are coming in from somewhere. And Samantha's sitting on the couch. She's tired. You can tell she's rubbing her eyes. She's been up all night. And she says, Dad, you've really matured that you let me go out all night long. Weren't you worried at all? And he's like, no, I trust you. It was a safe place. And I paid Ernie at the falafel stand.
What does he know about Ernie?
I don't know, right? Ernie could have been a pedophile.
Right.
Maybe he knows Ernie. There is a character named Ernie that will be on this show later in the series.
You think it's Ernie from the falafel stand?
I don't think so, because he delivers water, if I'm getting that name correct.
Maybe he lost the falafel job and moved up.
That's true.
To water.
Maybe the falafel stand burned down, and then he had to go get a job at the water place.
There's always money in the falafel stand. You know what's funny? Look in this episode, look at Tony's shirt.
I know.
More oversized pockets.
Yes.
Oh, did we already talk about this?
No. You and I talked about this a little bit off while we watched the episode.
Right.
But yes,
okay,
it's very similar to that other terrible shirt.
There must have been a big pocket sale.
Oh my goodness. It probably was just a huge crate. Like, did this go on for a while? I don't remember big pockets.
I don't either.
But
I don't at all either. I don't remember that look at all, and I never had that look.
Now these
and
pockets,
I was a teenager. Well,
87.
Yeah.
What were you in 87?
I don't know.
Okay.
14.
Now these. Oh yeah, you're the same age as Alyssa Milano, so you were 14. So now this shirt, the pockets have like a slant.
Yeah, it's fancy big.
So now, even if you try to get your library book in there, part of it's going to stick out.
Yeah,
because
it's a mess.
Yeah. And it's short sleeve. At first, I thought they actually just cut the sleeves off the long sleeve shirt he was wearing last episode.
Yeah, right. We did discuss
But the pockets are different because they have like such a slant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shirt needs to be burned. But meanwhile, I love Mona's dress. And I feel like someone would wear that today. The color is fantastic.
The color's nice.
Yeah. And so you don't look at our social media, but I did a whole Instagram story about how I read 2 articles recently.
Wait, is it about how the jackets with the shoulder pads are big again?
Yeah, it's how like a bunch of Angela
that.
Bowers.
I don't read our social media. I saw that.
A bunch of Angela Bowers looks are now popular again.
Yeah,
I was reading
saw that.
2 articles. One's Vogue and one's the Trend Spotter. And yeah, it was the boyfriend shoulder pad oversized jacket. Then it was sorbet colored and like Mona could have been wearing one of the outfits that they were wearing in this article. White knee-high boots. I was able to find a picture of her in that. Statement trousers, which we had discussed before.
Statement trousers. Sorry, I love that.
And then, puffed up sleeves are coming back in style. I know. All we need are those giant glasses, which I feel like I've seen some giant glasses floating around. And then Angela is back.
Wow.
Which would be great.
She was a pioneer.
Yeah. So if Judith Light comes back to the reboot, she can just wear all of Angela's old clothes. Stuff. They could save a ton of money if anybody still has any of those clothes. Because Lord knows the woman would still fit in them.
I know,
they'd probably be big on her now. Okay. So Samantha leaves. Falafel guy watched her, and Tony paid the falafel guy because the yogurt guy was too expensive.
Right.
And Samantha's like, he should be too expensive because he was cuter than the falafel guy. And now Tony's mad. Okay, so Samantha leaves, and now Tony and Angela are going to talk about their day because they went out and Angela wanted to have some fun. So Tony's like, we're talking thrills.
I know. I want you to do a shot every time Tony says Mona at this scene.
I don't have a drink.
Watch this.
Okay.
Just watch how many times you see it in the closed captioning.
Okay.
She shows that she ripped off the mattress.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hang on. I'm not there yet. Okay,
I'm sorry.
looking.
So do that. I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah. So he
usual.
says
I don't know what's going on.
They had so much fun. We're talking thrills. Me and Angela took a walk on the wild side. So Angela says, "Mother, you'd be so proud of me. I broke the law." And she goes on to explain that those little tags that you're not supposed to remove from mattresses, and she pulls a little stack of them out of her pocket.
And where did she tear them out from?
I guess they went to a mattress store.
That's even worse.
What do you mean?
Meaning, Like, she didn't even rip them off her own mattress.
No. You can tear them off your own mattress. You're not supposed to remove them from the store.
I thought you're supposed to never remove them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, but then I might have to go to jail because I think I removed them off of pillows and mattresses that I bought. So, she says
we've done it, yeah.
That's a federal offense. And Mona says, great, you're going to be on the top 10 least wanted list. But that's not it. That's not all. They also got into an elevator. And then Angela started making farting noise with her armpit.
Right.
And Tony's trying to imitate the farting noises she was making.
And there's no sound coming out.
No. He does it twice in this episode, and he cannot make a sound. So Tony Micelli can do a lot of things, but he cannot fart with his armpit. So... So write that down.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Write that down,
Thought
everyone.
he was multi-talented.
I wonder why. And plus, there's no way Angela did that because what did she do? Did she untuck this shirt or did she put her hand down the top turtleneck? There was no way she was going to get her hand up into her shirt to be able to make farting noises. So Tony says that everyone on the elevator started looking at him because they figured he was the one that was doing it. So then they crashed a wedding. They went to a wedding, and when the minister said, "Speak now or forever hold your peace," Angela yelled, "You have a terrible caterer." And then they ran like hell.
I know, but that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't because they
were at the
ceremony.
Thank you, ceremony. Yeah. And they wouldn't have had the food yet. And she's yelling, the catering's terrible, and she ran.
I know. And that's a really mean thing to do to someone at their wedding.
Yes, of course. It's beside the point.
But whatever. It's a sitcom. So Mona says, Angela, I had no idea that you could ever be so rude and crude, and I have a new respect for you. So she's gained some points with Mona.
By acting like a complete idiot.
So Tony's like, all right, well, that was fun. Wild oats sowed. And Angela's
Tony
like,
thinks it's all done now.
Yeah. She's like, no, I have so much more to do on this list. And she's looking over the list and then she's like, oh, I like this one. I could not possibly do this one. So Mona wants to see. And what it is that she wants to go to Inspiration Point with Jake the Snake McGuire.
Wow.
I don't
like the sound of that.
So she tells the story about how he was the wildest kid in school. All the girls held their breath and their jewelry when he walked by. It's like they wanted to go out with him, but they were also worried that he was actually going to steal their jewelry. Like that's a rebel right there.
Mm-hmm. That is.
Did you ever find out what a DA was? He had a DA.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't look that up.
Oh, wait. Did he have a district attorney because he had been arrested?
DA. That makes That's what I first thought. And then I'm like, wait, district attorney makes no sense. But I guess he would have if he had been arrested. A few times. Yeah, he is a badass.
A leather jacket and tight jeans. And he didn't talk, he hissed. And he didn't walk, he slithered. So I guess that's why he was named the Snake.
Oh.
I figured it was for his penis. But
oh. Yeah, the Snake.
Mona says, I didn't think that you went for guys like that. I figured you liked guys with safety pins and glasses or something like that. And Angela's like, no, on the outside, I was Sandra Dee, but on the inside, Tina Louise was trying to get out.
Mm.
So at first I thought Sandra Dee was Grease.
Right.
But then I looked it up and there was an actress named Sandra Dee, which I had a vague recollection, but she was born in 1942, and I'm guessing that her character was sort of the girl next door character. And she passed away in 2005 at the age of 62, not very old. But then there was also Tina Louise, who was known for sexier roles like Ginger on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, and she's still alive.
She is still alive. Yeah. She's 87 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You remember Gilligan's Island?
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I remember watched that show.
Oh, yeah, it was good. I used to watch it like after school. It was on like the repeats. Oh. In syndication, if you will.
So Angela's telling Tony that he used to take all these girls to a special place on his motorcycle called Inspiration Point. And they would make out there. And Tony's like, how do you make out on a motorcycle to begin with? And Mona says it can be done.
Yeah, of course.
Immediately. But it would be, wouldn't it be easy to make out on them? As long as the motorcycle isn't moving. Yeah.
One person turns around facing each other.
So Tony says, well, whatever happened to Mr. Snake? And she's like, I don't know. After I went to Montague Academy, I lost touch with him.
Good continuity there.
Yes, very good continuity, because I was thinking, oh, okay. Before she said that, I was like, wait a minute. Now they're going to have Angela have gone to some regular high school instead of the academy. But
before she went off to the academy. Yes. Maybe that's why she got sent away, because she was chasing
looking
after
the snake. So Mona says he's right here, and Mona's holding a phone book. What the hell is that? Haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, I know. Phone book.
Yeah. For years, we still would get the phone book.
I know. I literally up to... We've gotten one since we moved here, so at least by 2016.
Yeah, and we just kept throwing them.
They kept coming in our old houses.
Yeah. But now, our kids would have no idea what a phone book is.
Oh, wait. Actually, I went online and opted out.
Oh, so you think they still send them out?
Yes, they have to, I think, for
probably.
people who just don't. I remember finally being like, this is such a waste. And there was a piece of paper that came with it that said you can opt out of the phone book.
Nice.
So they do still send it around.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah.
Now I kind of want one again.
Opt back in.
I don't know.
So Angela takes the phone book and she runs over to the phone. She's like, should I do it? So she starts dialing, and then Tony asks Mona, should we give her some privacy? And Mona's like, no.
No way.
Yeah, this is going to be a great show. Now, watch Tony here, because I feel like his mood changes from when he thinks this is all fun and games, and then when she actually gets a date
realizes
with this
he's
guy.
going out with the snake.
Yeah.
She's going out with the snake.
So she calls the number and he answers, and she's like, it's him. So she tells this guy, we went to high school together. You probably don't remember me. My name was Angela Robinson. And then she's like, well, I had glasses and buck teeth and I was slightly overweight. And then she's like, well, they were thick glasses. And
buck
Mona
teeth.
says, picture the Hindenburg with bangs.
Awful.
I know, it's so mean.
That's a Hindenburg. It's a blimp.
Yes. It's just so mean. So Angela motions for the two of them to go away, and this might be my favorite part, when they just both nod no.
Yeah, nope. Staying right here.
No, we're staying here. Yeah. So then she says, the less mature kids used to call me the walrus.
The less mature kids.
I know. And she whispers walrus. And Tony's like, what'd you say? And Mona says, the walrus.
Well, what's funny is once she says the less mature kids used to call me the walrus, that's when the snake remembered her.
Oh,
so
right.
Clearly the snake was one of the less mature. Oh, I remember the walrus.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So then she's like, yes, that's me. No, I've changed. The braces worked. So did the Clearasil, and Metrical melted away those unsightly pounds.
All right.
How many... did you look up Metrical?
Who wants to learn about Metrical?
I do, because how many lawsuits have been put against Metrical over the years?
Well, it's funny. Why? Do you know something about Metrical?
No, but there's always weight loss pills, and then
right. And that's why I wanted
lawsuits about weight loss pills.
Save this for the podcast. Metrical was a brand of diet foods introduced in the early 1960s. Though its products were criticized for their taste, which newer varieties of flavor tried to improve upon, it attained a niche in the popular culture of the time. Created and marketed initially by C. Joseph Genster of Mead Johnson & Company, it was eventually replaced in the market by competitors such as Slim Fast and lost popularity because it was linked to deaths.
God.
Yeah, I would see how it could lose popularity by being linked to deaths.
Yes, once you're linked to deaths,
yeah, it's got to be. I bet you if you really... this section's probably good, the decline. I go to Wikipedia and read the decline. I'm sure it's interesting.
Yeah, and the only reason I figured is because Fen-Phen and all those bad diet pills.
Yeah, everything always
have a terrible ending. Okay, so...
hang on one second. I just want to tell you about... There was a section. Oh, I lost it. No, well, never mind. It talks about what the supplements consisted of, and it was originally the product came as powder and contained, because that was
if it's being compared to Slim Fast,
like Slim Fast,
like
and what's the
you make
other
a
one?
shake.
There was like Alba shakes or something like that. Originally, the product came as a powder, and it contained powdered skim milk, soybean flour, sugar, and corn oil.
Oh God.
Yeah, that sounds really terrible for a shake.
Yes.
But anyway, enough about this stuff.
Okay. So she finds out that that Jake the snake is single. She's very excited about that. She even yells, "He's single," to Mona, and Jake had to hear that.
That's what I'm saying. She said it right into the phone.
So then she asks, "What would you think about going for a drink?" And he must say, "How about tonight?" Because she's like, "Oh, okay, tonight?" Now, this is where, if you notice, Tony at this point walks away, and then there's a couple shots on him where he's now looking a bit annoyed, and he sits down in the chair. And then when he says that he's available tonight, he's like, "Oh, busy guy."
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is the guy who had to go through a little black book, which was red and had dust on it, and try to find some girl to go out with him.
I know, that's true.
So
but interesting thing is that she just called somebody she hadn't seen since high school, found his number in the phone book. He was home and not busy.
Right.
And then she just said, "Come over," and gave her the address of the house, not knowing anything about this guy.
I know, wait,
But I guess that's the spontaneous craziness.
And
so.
we find out, so the house address is 3344 Oak Hills Drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if we knew that or not, but that's where they live.
Well.
So he's coming to pick her up. Yeah. Just come on over to my house and pick her up.
Mr. Snake. One of my favorite parts is when she asks if there's a Mrs. Snake. That's pretty funny.
So now she's so excited. She's like, I did it. She's so proud of herself. And Tony's like, "Oh, okay, great. Well, that worked out. It's not even a school night." Because she's excited that she's going out with the cutest boy in high school.
Yeah.
So we had talked about also that Friends did a similar storyline to this, where Monica goes out with Chip, who was the cutest guy in school.
Right. Who still works at the same movie theater.
Right. Yeah. And it was similar where, he was like he peaked in high school. And so that's where he was still stuck. So now it's later that night. We know that because they show a shot of the outside of the house and it's dark, but we see a bunch of lights on inside the house.
Oh, that's true. We do.
And Angela's getting ready. I have no idea what she is wearing.
I don't either. It's bizarre.
It's like a salmon colored blouse and matching pants, but then the shirt has like piping on it. And then in addition to the piping, there are little silver dangly things that hang off of it. Like, I bet at the time this looked hot, but now I have no idea what's going on.
It's quintessential 80s.
Yes. So she's looking in the mirror, checking
It's like
herself.
if the 80s threw up, there would be this outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you might as well have puffy painted this shirt. So Mona comes out, and Mona's walking out of the back area here holding a book.
It's just back there dropping a bomb.
Well, the only thing back there is the basement, a closet, and the bathroom. So was Mona in the bathroom with the book?
Yeah.
And now she's done. And she's walking.
She tore up the bathroom.
Or is there a little library back there we've never seen?
One can hope.
Or was she in the basement reading a book?
Maybe.
None of it makes sense. So
no, it doesn't.
She walks over and Angela's like, "Oh no, I have an unsightly blemish." And Mona says, "It looks like a big zit to me." So of course, Angela has a big zit the night of her big date. So Mona walks away and Angela's trying to hide it. And now meanwhile, she has full bangs. How can you even see her forehead?
And the snake's not going to care.
No.
I can already tell you that.
Yeah. So Tony comes bounding down the steps. He sees Angela and he's like, "Oh, you look terrific." So I guess that outfit does look good? Or Tony's just like, I don't.
Yeah, we don't know.
Whatever he can take at this point. And then he says, "What is that on your forehead?"
So he can see the...
Yes, he can see the unsightly blemish underneath all those bangs.
Underneath the bangs, yep.
Now Mona's like, "I wonder what Jake looks like these days." And Tony says, "Don't get your hopes up because this guy could be bald and fat." And what does he say about us?
I don't remember.
Oh, shoot. And wearing a truss.
Oh, wearing a truss.
Yeah, those are all just mean things.
I know. Terrible. But I mean, Tony's poo-pooing since he realized she was going out. with him.
Right. Yeah. He cannot let another Jeffrey happen already. Like he just climbed a ladder and spray painted no on her bedroom window.
Right. Exactly.
Give the guy a break for a little while here.
Right.
So the doorbell rings and Jake the snake is there. So Angela's all excited and Mona's like, no. You can't go straight to the door. Like I have to open the door. You go upstairs. So they're really playing this out as if Angela is a teenage girl.
Right.
And
exactly. That's what I didn't realize the reference. I get it now.
Just like the zit, you know?
Right.
So, and then Tony says, well, where do I stand? And she says, on that stain on the carpet. Just insulting Tony in his own home.
I know.
So Mona opens the door, and here's Jake. Now, I can't tell if this guy was supposed to look good. I don't think so, right?
No,
I mean, I don't want to
I don't know.
say bad things about leaving. So this actor...
I know, but
is leaving.
Yes.
And he was the lead singer of a punk group called Fear.
Fear, yeah.
Punk band. I guess you don't say punk group.
Yeah, punk band. Punk rock.
Fear. And then he's also
He's a very influential punk band.
Yeah, but he's also done quite a bit of acting. Like character acting, he was in Flashdance.
Yep.
He was on Three's a Crowd back in 1984. He plays Man too, but so he started acting early on. A couple episodes of Fame. This is his one episode of Who's the Boss, and then in 2020 he's going to be in Death Rider in the House of Vampires.
Oh, it's crazy.
He's a bartender. I have no idea what that is, but he's still acting today.
Oh, good for him.
So he comes in and he's wearing a leather jacket, a white t-shirt. I mean, he basically looks like he probably dressed in high school. Just things are a little tighter now.
Yeah, maybe.
And then his helmet has a snake painted on it.
Well, would you expect anything else?
I expected no less. So he says when Mona answers the door, he looks at Mona and he's like, wow, Angela, you really filled out.
Of course.
And then Angela says, oh, he's going to be very disappointed.
Mona says that.
I'm sorry. Mona says he's going to be very disappointed. She says, I'm actually Angela's mother. And he's like, hello, Mama.
He.
Yeah. Then Mona introduces Tony as their housekeeper. He says hello to him. And she's like, I'll go ahead and call down for Angela. Tony asks if he can take his helmet. But he's like, no, I'm fine. So Mona calls down for Angela. And she's like, okay, Mother, I'll be down in a minute. And then she immediately comes running down the stairs.
I know.
Angela's as big of a dork now as she was then. But I love it. So she comes down the stairs and then she sees Jake for the first time. And again, here, I can't tell if she's like, this doesn't look at all like I thought it would, because she says you look just like you did in high school, but maybe she's just being nice.
I don't think she was expecting him to maybe look just like he did in high school. I don't know.
Okay. So maybe she wasn't expecting him to actually still be in the same clothes he wore in high school. But overall, I don't think she's very impressed with what she sees. But she's still into going out on this date. So she's like, you look just like you did when you graduated. And he says, I didn't actually graduate. I just decided to focus on my other interests, which were sleeping late and not going to school. So he says that he's playing tonight.
At the Mason Jar.
Yes, the Mason Jar. His band is playing. And she's like, oh, the Mason Jar. Isn't that the place that you used to play in high school? And he says, yep. And he plays with the same band, and they still know the same 3 chords.
Yep.
So Mona does something a bit out of character here, I think. So now she's like, hang on, I need to talk to Angela for a minute. But it's cute because it is kind of, again, going along the line of like, as if Angela was a real teenager. So Mona takes her into the kitchen, and she's like, you can't go out with this guy. Which seems out of character for Mona to be like, you can't go out with this guy. But I guess like Mona really, she knows that this guy's going to be looking for sex at the end of this date.
Yeah.
And she doesn't think Angela's going to go for that. Like Mona's like, if this was me, it would be no problem. But I don't think that you can handle this.
Right, exactly. It's like, it's too much. He's a snake.
Right. She's like, you're out of your league. You don't know. I know men and you don't. So she does not want Angela to go on this date.
Right. And then she says, I don't want you going out with Sleazy Rider, which is a take on Easy Rider.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of funny. Which was probably, well, not big then, but before in the 70s.
Yeah, definitely well known.
It was out.
So then Angela says, are you forbidding me to go? And she's like, yes, I am. And she's like, okay, great. Well, then I can cross number 11 off my list.
Yeah.
So her number 11 was to defy mother. So she comes out. She's like, all right, I'm ready to go. He hands her his motorcycle helmet. And I love when she puts this on her head because her little, her coiffed or feathered bangs.
I know, just get all jammed down, pushed forward.
They'll just come out the front of it. It's so funny. So Tony's like, okay. And he tells Angela, because she's probably never been on a motorcycle before, that she needs to hold on and lean into the turns.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right. So she's all excited and she leaves.
He's like, hold on to his, and looks at him, and then he says luggage rack.
Oh, is that what it is? So he doesn't want her.
Hold on to his. He doesn't want her to put her arms around him.
I see. So that's why.
And usually motorcycles have the luggage rack.
I got it. Okay. I thought he was calling something on him a luggage rack, which I was very confused.
No, I think he just doesn't want her to hold on to him.
Got it. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. So they leave, and Mona's like, I don't have a good feeling about this. Angela has turned into a motorcycle mama.
Motorcycle mama.
It's like, all right, Mona, let's calm down. So Tony
just goes up the stairs.
Yeah. Well, Tony looks out the window and they're squealing out of the front. Yeah. And then he says, I hope she doesn't come back with a tattoo.
And then he goes up the stairs.
I know, like what? It's like, I can't, why?
I don't know.
I can't even handle it down here anymore. I got to go upstairs.
Yeah.
So
go to the bathroom, and he knew that Mona blew up the downstairs one, so he figured to go to the top one.
So now Angela and the snake get to this bar.
The mason jar.
The mason jar, yes. That beer sign is pretty fantastic.
It is. I love it. I wish I could get one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know where we'd put it.
That is a good point. Out on the patio.
Yeah. Where all the stuff goes that you don't want in the house.
So they come into the bar, and Angela hands him the helmet, and then she asks him if he has any dental floss because she thinks she has a gnat in her teeth. And he's like, well, I told you were going to have to close your mouth once we got on the turnpike.
He warned her.
Right. Yeah. He warned her, close your mouth. So they sit down and to have a drink. And he's like, we didn't have a lot of chance to talk on the chopper. So tell me about yourself. So she says that she's in advertising. And he's like, oh, I got a bone to pick with you guys. A billboard fell on my motorcycle.
That's stupid.
And who puts those things up? And she's like, oh, I don't know, but I'll check on that.
All right. This is already going well.
Right. The bartender comes over and Jake says he'll have a pitcher. And then they ask Angela what she would like. And she orders a brandy sidecar with a splash of lime and crushed ice. Mm-hmm. And everybody just looks at her. Like, that's such the joke when it's like a out of place person at a bar.
Right.
They always ask for some dumb drink, and then everybody
especially
looks
at a bar like this that probably does not sell mixed drinks.
Right. Yes. Probably just beer.
Right. And the other funny thing that I noted about this is earlier before they leave, he calls her Angie. Here he's like, "What are you going to have, Ange?" Like it's just funny the way the guy keeps like saying her name different ways. It just made me laugh. Like he's getting real comfortable.
Yes.
Hey, Ange.
Making it even shorter every time.
Right.
Now, when they show the bartender in this one shot, there's this baby picture on the wall.
I know.
And I just wonder, like, why? Is it somebody's baby picture, do you think? It's just shown really prominently. It almost looks like it could be a tiny Danny Pintauro.
It could be.
I wonder if it was someone's baby picture or if it's just a random baby. Because, like, is that a thing where you go to a bar and there's baby pictures on the wall?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
no, it doesn't seem to make any sense. It was just like they put it, that's what they found, and they put it there to fill the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so funny.
So they do a little fade because some time's passed, and now Angela's sitting at a table with Jake the Snake and a bunch of his friends, and she's actually having a good time.
Yeah,
and they're
maybe.
entertained by her. She's telling them all the silly things she's done recently, and she's recounting the story about the elevator where she was making the fart noises with her underarm. And that everybody looked at Tony, and they're laughing and stuff. But now it's time for Jake to perform.
Yeah.
So he goes to get on stage. He takes Angela over to a table that's in the front. He kicks some guy out of the front seat, turns the chair around so she can see the stage, and then sits her down.
And then grabs that guy's picture that was on the table and brings it up to the stage.
This is now
Real
his
classy
mug of beer.
fella.
Yeah, that's his mug of
A
beer.
picture is now his mug.
And he says that he would like to dedicate this song to a very special lady from his past. And he starts singing a song to Angela.
Yeah.
And now...
And which then she crosses off the list, romantic song sung for me.
She's so excited. No, the guy sitting behind her to the left, her right, our left,
Yes.
looks so much like Stephen King to me that I can't get past anything else in this
It
scene.
does. It really does.
And as far as I can tell, it is not Stephen King. I can't find any reason why it would be Stephen King or any correlation to him being on
Nope.
Who's the Boss.
Or him knowingly Ving. We
Right,
looked
because
up,
the only reason he would be on this is if he knew Lee Ving, who is this actor, or if he was still close with Danny's family because Danny was in Cujo.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if it was him, we would have found something. But it just really looks like...
Just a man that looks like him,
just
I
a man
guess.
that looks like Stephen King.
I know, we got to let it go.
And he's so prominently shown in this scene. Like, he's the extra that you see the most. But whoever you are, sir, I hope
Let
you're
us
doing
know.
well.
I know.
So Lee Ving is singing a song to Angela, and he was a real singer, so they are showcasing his singing here. So we get like an actual song of him singing.
And the song he's actually singing here is Help Me, and it's by Van Morrison. And it's kind of got bizarre lyrics, but I think it's a bluesy... It has a blues vibe, and the lyrics are kind of blues.
Right. Well, and he's letting Angela know what he wants right here, because it says, put on your morning gown, or we're bringing my nightshirt. Put on your morning gown. I don't feel like sleeping, but I feel like laying down. So he's ready to go to Inspiration Point. Yeah, he's ready for Inspiration Point.
Yep.
And then he's doing all these like cheesy dance moves at her and stuff.
It's just bad.
So now they cut back to Tony and Mona at the house, and Tony's getting agitated, and he's like, she should have been home by now. And Mona says, well, you told her she could stay out with Bonnie until 11. So it's not even 11. And he's like, no, I'm talking about Angela. Would Angela really be home before 11?
I know. That's what I don't understand, because what time did the snake pick her up? First of all, it was late.
Yeah, it had to have been.
Second of all,
it was already dark.
when the main act plays, it's usually like 10 or 11.
Oh, that's true.
So
if you're lucky, 9:30.
Yeah, right. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
bars try to make bands play really late so people stay and keep drinking.
Yeah. So he says, what kind of mother are you letting her go out with Fozzie's evil twin?
Fonzie's evil.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said
Fozzie? Fozzie's
Fozzie.
evil twin. I didn't know Fozzie had an evil twin.
Fonzie's evil twin.
That's funny.
And she's like, no, you created this monster by taking her out on that shopping spree. You whipped all of her hormones into a frenzy.
Yep.
If only Tony could whip Angela's hormones into a frenzy. And then he's like, don't you dare blame me, because the hormone doesn't fall far from the tree.
Hormone. Stop.
But I will say that I find some truth in that statement, because I do think that as much of innocent and naive as Angela is, I do think on the inside she really does want to be a little more like her mother, a little wilder than she is. And then Mona's like, no, this is your fault because you let Sam go to that all-night concert ticket line. And he's like, you're the one that told me to do that.
Yeah.
So they agree that they're both at fault here. But really, Angela's a grown-ass woman, everybody. Let's calm the hell down. So now back at the bar, he's now singing an Elvis song to her.
Right. Are you lonesome tonight?
Yes, and he's like holding her hand and bringing her up on stage. So
really cheesing.
Yes, big time. So now the show's over, and she's like, "Oh, this was lovely. Thank you so much. It's been groovy."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, speaking of grooving, how about you and I just go somewhere quiet?" And she's asks him, "Where would that be?" And he says, "It's a little place I like to call Inspiration Point."
Yep.
And Angela says, "Do I look like that type of girl?" And he's like, "Yeah, you do."
I know, right? He's just open.
So, but she's like, "Well, you've had too many pictures. I don't really think you should drive anywhere." And he's like, "Oh, it's fine. We can walk. We'll go for a little walk."
Yeah,
so
we can. She's like an evening stroll.
Right, yeah. So she thinks she's being taken somewhere that's like, make out point or whatever. That's maybe by a lake.
Right.
Maybe some trees. But no.
She's going to the snake's rape room. Yeah. His little panic.
Oh my God, I shouldn't laugh at that.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
So,
well, I mean, come on. It's creepy. He's bringing her back into a room at the bar.
Yes. So
it's a little couch.
It's this room back at the bar, and this is Inspiration Point. This is where droves of teenage girls probably lost their virginity.
Yeah, inspiration, sexual assault.
With this loser.
I know.
So she's like looking around, and she seems a little trepidatious about this. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
Yeah, it is now.
Okay, so now Tony's at the bar. He can't take it anymore.
Yeah, he had to go find her.
Yeah. And he walks in and he starts talking to the redhead lady who was at the table earlier with Angela and Snake. And her name is Twink Kaplan.
Yes.
She was born on Christmas, 1927.
Oh, good for Twink.
Yes, she is still alive. She, okay, so I think what I probably recognize her from the most is Look Who's Talking.
Yeah, I think that might be where I recognize her. Because I looked through the list and I couldn't picture anything, but I know she looked familiar.
Yeah, but again, a big character actor in the 80s for sure. Valerie, Divorce Court. Oh, I thought that was Night Court. Okay, wait. Who's the Boss? Mr. Belvedere, L.A. Law. Then Look Who's Talking.
Divorce Court.
Quantum Leap.
Reality?
That's what I thought too. But I think some of those were still
staged.
Yeah, staged.
Or maybe she really went to divorce court.
Sister. She was in the TV series of Clueless. So yeah, a big character actor. But I think I probably recognize her most from Look Who's Talking. I really want to show our kids the movie Look Who's Talking. I think they would like it.
I think they would enjoy it.
Okay, so Tony starts talking to her, and he's asking her, "Have you seen, my friend?" Oh, because she's coming on to Tony, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for a blonde," and she's like, "Well, I can be blonde."
I know, that was funny. Like he's looking for any blonde,
right? And he's like, "No, specific blonde. She's got brown eyes. She's very well dressed. She's a very classy lady, and she's with a guy named Snake."
Snake.
This lady, did they have her listed here? What is her name here? Oh, Joanne. She says, "Oh, yeah, they were here earlier, but they left. I don't know where they went." So she's trying to get Tony to stick around for a beer or something. And he's like, "All right, well, yeah, I'll have a beer." So he sits down and starts talking to her. Now, back in the Inspiration Point room.
The Inspiration Point room.
Angela's like, "This is Inspiration Point?" She's like, "I thought that there were going to be trees and a field and a sky full of stars." Mm-hmm. And he's laying down on like this nasty ripped leather couch at this point.
I know, that couch is probably gross.
And he says, "If you lay down, you can see the Big Dipper."
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a terrible
worst line ever.
And she's like, "No." She just kind of crosses her arms and looks away. So Tony's back talking to Joanne, and she's asking him about, "Oh, you're a housekeeper?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's a dusty job, but someone has to do it." And he's like, "My boss, though, she's a really nice lady, and I got a great place to live." He's like, "Except she has been acting a little crazy lately." And then he hears a scream, and he can tell it's Angela's scream. So he goes running, and the girl's like, "I can scream. You like screaming? I can scream." So Tony busts into this back room. And I love the way they have, like, Jake kind of manhandling Angela here. He's just holding her and rocking back and forth.
I know.
So I guess it kind of looks like he's attacking her, but really, he's not. So he gets Angela away from him, and Tony's like, I'm going to fight you. And he goes to punch the guy, or Snake goes to punch him, and the snake passes out.
I know. I mean, like, what was he going to do? He was loaded.
Yeah, but I didn't really feel like the guy was that drunk.
I know, but it's TV load. It's TV drunk. Right. I had a bunch of pictures, but all of a sudden I'm passing out. Right. Like he blacked out immediately, just out of nowhere, after being actually pretty coherent.
Right. And so Angela's like, oh, okay. And Tony's, thinking that it was the threat of his punch that knocked this guy out.
Right. Tony thinks that.
So he is like, are you okay? I heard you screaming. And she's like, it was awful. And he's like, well, I told you, not to go with this guy. And she's like, no. It was the biggest cockroach I'd ever seen. Mm-hmm. That was the only nature Angela got tonight, was a cockroach in the Inspiration Point room. So he's like, I thought the guy was attacking you. And she's like, well, he was trying, but I was fine handling him. It was just the bug that scared me.
Right.
So then she realizes that Tony's at this bar. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I was just in the area and I thought I'd come by. But Angela's not buying it. She knows why he's there. And it was to save her.
Yeah. And she's lucky because she probably would have died in a motorcycle crash on the way home.
Right. I mean,
because
I think Angela would have done fine handling herself here. She would have gotten away from the snake.
But she would have been dead on the turnpike.
Well, or she just she was going to have to call him anyway to come pick her up because this guy passed out.
She'd be glad he showed up because leaving.
She didn't need rescuing, but she was going to need a ride home. And there was no Uber.
No. Maybe a cab. Could have called a cab.
That's true, yeah. Fairfield has cabs. So she's like, okay. She says, you were worried about me and just admit it. So she's a little disappointed that this is how the night went. She's like, so much for sowing my wild oats. And Jake's in the background snoring. And Tony's like, you really can't relive something that you didn't have to begin with. So he's trying to make her feel better, but I don't know that it's really working. And she's like, sometimes things are just better left to your imagination. And then Tony's like, well, we'll always have this. And again, he's trying to make farting noises with his arm.
Not happening.
You think they would have at least helped him out and just added a couple of farting sound effects for him in these scenes.
I know, it was really bad. Did he think he was making noises?
Or were they not allowed to have fart noises? So that's why they didn't?
I don't know.
I don't know. But it's a sad little armpit fart. Okay, so now I think this is the tag, right? So they come out to the tag and we see it's a rare shot of the van.
Yeah, the moon first.
Yeah.
And then
we see a moon over like a lake or trees.
Whatever.
Yeah, somewhere out in the wilderness. And we see the van, it's parked, and we hear heavy breathing. And you might think, oh, this is going to get good. It's going to get a little good.
Yeah.
But they show the two of them in the van, and Angela is actually breathing on her glasses
so
that she can clean them off so that she can see the stars and the trees and the moon more clearly. And so she and Tony are sitting in his van at wherever he takes girls to make out.
His inspiration point.
So she's like, this is beautiful. This is so great. Thank you so much. And she crosses it off on her list.
Yeah.
And then Tony takes the list and he's like, well, wait a minute here. There's one more. And it says Mike Ott at Inspiration Point. How bad is Angela's handwriting? I guess it's pretty bad, though, because we saw the Angela Bauer written on the
That's right.
on the chalkboard and educating
It was
Tony.
horrible.
And she's like, oh, no, that's actually make out. So he's like, oh. And then he's like, well, it's too bad you didn't get to finish your list. And she's like, yeah, I got really close. And he's like, I bet it was something that you really wanted to do. And she says, yes, it would have given me a real sense of completion. And Tony's like, completion's good. Completion's good.
Zing.
I know, I can't tell how dirty that joke is.
Yeah.
So then he kind of looks at her and he leans over and they start kissing.
Yeah. Lays one on her.
Yes. And this is a very good kiss. I feel like this is up there with the first kiss. Because there's going to be a shift on this show where they're going to get to the point where the kisses are kind of almost done humorously, I guess. And they're real, like, over-the-top sitcom-y stage kisses. But they're not there yet. I feel like at this point, this was still, like, a pretty hot kiss for a sitcom.
And I like that he removes her glasses and you think it's going to escalate.
Right.
And he just cleans them off for her because they're all steamed up again.
But it's so bizarre because it really... It's funny, too, because like the writers would say that everybody wanted to write the episode when Tony and Angela got together. And so now this is an episode with a kiss and it's written by two people this is their first episode ever.
Yeah, that must have been like, what?
I know. And it's just so out of place. Like it's great, but it is funny because it's just like completely unexpected.
Right.
And then it doesn't go anywhere.
Right. It's not resolved.
And it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
But here it is.
Yep.
So yes, a cute little kiss between Tony and Angela. And that is the end of the episode.
Yep.
All right. So you did rating last. First.
I did. Okay, then you go.
I'm going to go first. And I gave this one a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I like this one. I thought it was a strong episode for these two first-time writers, for sure. I thought it was cute. I love all the cute Angela stuff. Was Jonathan even in this episode?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he was at all.
No. Only Sam.
Poor Jonathan.
Maybe school was going on or something.
Yeah, maybe he was on a trip or something. And the setup of Sam and the Beastie Boys is going to actually come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I feel like normally they would set something up like that and then you would never hear about the Beastie Boys concert again. But we actually will hear about the Beastie Boys concert again.
Yeah, and the Beastie Boys were huge.
But yeah, overall I thought it was a cute episode. And then, I can't not give it a 7.5 when there's a kiss at the end.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a 7. I think it was a 7.5 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not even going to go a half step lower?
No. I think it was entertaining all around. I like Mona in it. Mona was in it quite a bit. And her parts are pretty funny. And then Angela living her I don't know, wild side or mild side. You know what I mean? It just kind of, it was good. It wasn't like just a filler episode. It
was cute.
And then the ending with the kiss, yes, obviously is leaning up to whenever.
Yeah.
Oh, whenever they get together.
Yeah, they're leading up to 4 years later.
Yeah, exactly. No big deal.
Yeah. Don't get too excited.
Who's the boss around here? Me or my mother? Or maybe it's you?
I went with Angela on this episode.
All right.
I know you probably thought I was going to say the snake, but I didn't this time.
I gave you the benefit of the
predictable.
doubt, but I
Too
should
predictable.
have.
No.
Yeah.
He was close second. No, I thought that when the episode, started and she started getting all ramped up to be spontaneous and do all these crazy things like rip off mattress tags and make farting noises. like she she committed to it and did. And then when you thought she was kind of going off the rails and she, called this random snake guy and Tony thought I have to go save her, she really had it under control the entire time.
Yeah.
And she, the guy's passed out on the couch and she was screaming because she saw a roach. You know what I mean? Like overall, when you thought because she had never been in maybe a crazy situation like that, she was going to get herself in a lot of trouble. Like Tony really didn't need to go bail her out.
Yes,
so I thought she was the boss. She had it all under control.
Yeah. This is the second episode in a row we've had Angela as the boss.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I agree as well.
I was wondering if you were.
Oh, yeah.
Because I kind of had Tony first, and then as I watched it again, I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's not Tony.
Yeah, she had it under, she was going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she didn't need rescuing, but she was going to need a ride home. So it's a good thing that he went down there anyway.
Yeah, of course. But she still had everything under control.
Yeah.
I mean, the snake was passed out on the couch. And that was that.
But yeah, she decided that she wanted to do this, and she did it in her little Angela way of doing dumb things, and then, I definitely think Angela's the boss.
Yeah,
Plus,
I agree.
That outfit, I mean,
come on.
She dared to walk out of the house wearing that salmon-colored piping puffy paint.
She didn't dare. She just did.
Yeah, she was all about it. Okay, so you can reach us at Who's the Boss Podcast on Instagram, and that is also where I have the fundraiser going for Tony Danza's birthday, April 21st. If you go to our Instagram, you'll see it right there on the bio, so you can click on that if you would like to participate and donate. Also on Twitter, we're at Who's the Boss Pod 1, or on Facebook, the Who's the Boss Podcast page. Or you can go to anchor.fm/WTB podcast, and there you can leave us a voice message. All right, so next episode, we're going to watch Reconcilable Differences.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of ran into this one a little bit when we were done watching this episode the other night.
Oh, yeah, I do remember seeing a little bit of it.
But yeah, I haven't seen the end, and I don't know the last time I actually watched this episode. So.
Oh, okay, this should be good then, because
Yeah.
that must be
Fresh for both
nice,
of
because you
us.
don't know if you hate it or love it already. So it's kind of new again, in a way.
We're kind of almost caught up with the date because it's the 24th, but we're at the end of March, and we're going to be at the end of March with this episode, March 31st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
1987.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give a big thumbs up and tell all your friends. And maybe you can tell your grandma, your mother, and your sister or brother. Maybe have no siblings. Tell your dog and cats. Bye.